Hello everyone, so in today's video we are going to discuss how to create a table with a foreign key using DDL queries. So what we have here is our question set number 45. So the principal of Ranabima School in Kandy intends to create a software to enter the information of teachers and students in that school. You are entrusted with the task of creating this software. Your team is tasked with developing the database of this software. Database development work is shared between you and everyone on the team. You are tasked with storing student and teacher information, creating the tables needed to store the subjects that teachers teach and the subjects that students learn. Use the instructions below to create it. So we have our questions here, so we have to make teacher has subject table here, so it will be the subject ID column here, and it will be a foreign key with the subject table. This will be the teacher ID column, it will be the foreign key for the teacher table. And we have more questions, and we have to make a student has subject table, so similarly subject ID will be the foreign key to the subject table, student ID will be the foreign key to the student table. And we have more queries to write, so we have to add more columns to that. So basically this is what we'll be covering in today's question. Let's head on to answer this question now. So question number 1 is all the teachers in the school teach one subject or several subjects. Create a table called teacher has subject to store information on all the subjects that the teachers teach. In the initial stage of this software, the principal decides to store the details of the teachers who teach only the main subjects of grade 9. Follow the instructions below to create this table. Use DDL query to create the table. Alright, so here first of all we need to show our databases which we have. We need to see the databases which we have. So now we can see the databases which we currently have, and from that we are going to use our Ranabima SCHDB database. Alright, so now we have taken that database, it will be our new default database. So now we have to create this table. So create table, if not exists, teacher has subject. So here we are going to take the subject ID. It will be an integer, not now, and then the teacher ID, which will also be integer and not now. Alright, so here the foreign key subject ID, so this is going to be our foreign key subject ID, ID references, subject, and within that subject ID, so basically the table and the column which is going to be referenced with, and our next foreign key teacher ID. So from this table we're taking the teacher ID, references, student, references teacher, on teacher ID. Alright, so now let's run this query, and now this has been now created, and in the question 2 it says it is necessary to add a column named ID to the table named teacher has subject, which is created to store all the subjects taught by the teachers. The column you add is with the primary key, and your team leader has said that auto increment is mandatory. Name the DDL query required for that and use that query to add that column to the teacher has subject table. Alright, so now we are going to alter the table. Alter table. So basically we are changing teacher has subject as subject. Alright, add ID int, not now, auto increment, primary key. So this is what we are adding, new column. So this is going to be added now as a column. So once I click this, click on enter, it will be added to the table. Alright, so now it has been added. There are no duplicate rows, so there is nothing to worry about that there. So we can safely move on to our third question. It is compulsory for all students in grade 9 of the school to learn all the major subjects. Create a table named student has subject to store that information. To do so, follow the instructions below. Use the DDL query to create this table. So basically a subject table int 45. It's just going to be integer, not int 45. It will be not null, and it will be a foreign key of the subject table, and the student ID, which is also of the data type integer, not null. The foreign key will be the student table. Alright, so let's create this. So now we have to create table if not exists. If not exists, so basically we'll be adding two tables for these questions and adding two columns for each of this. So here to each of these tables. So here we have to create the student has subject table, subject table. So here the subject ID column, subject ID integer, not now. Then the student ID, student ID will be integer, not now as well. Integer, not now. Alright, so the foreign key will be the subject ID. References, this is the subject table, the subject tables, subject ID column, subject ID. Alright, subject ID. Alright, next foreign key, student ID. So here we're going to take the student ID, and it's going to have the references, student, and within brackets student ID. Alright, click on enter, and so now this table has now been created. So let's move on to question number 4. Students need to add a column named ID in the table named student has subject, which is created to store all the subjects they are learning. Your team leader says that the column you must add should be a primary key, and that the column must be auto increment. Create the DDL query and add that column to the student has subject table using that query. Alright, so here what we need to do is to alter our table, so basically updating. So here we are going to add the column student has subject. Sorry, it's not updating. but it's altered in the table. So student has subject, add ID, integer, not now, auto increment, and it's going to be a primary key, increment primary key. Alright, so I'm going to click on enter, and now this has been created. So basically this is what we had to create in this video. Let's move on to our DDL browser to see if this has been created successfully. And now as you can see, we're in a DDL browser. We have not updated or refreshed our databases, so we still have the 3 tables. So basically what we added are 2 tables with 2 columns, and then we added a column each. So now I'm going to refresh it. So we check our, so now we have the student has, so we have a third column ID, and our student has subject is now here, and our teacher has subject is also here with that extra column ID. So basically that is it for this video, and this is how we add our foreign key to our table, or create a table with a foreign key in our database. I hope this video was helpful for you, and this is it for this video. Thank you for watching.